Dumbarton Rock was where I started climbing. I climbed there for 13 odd years. I lived there for a few years and I eventually left and moved to the Highlands in 2007. And after that, I really hardly ever went back. There was one climb I was working on in Dumbarton that I never finished before I left. It was an extended start to my own problem sanction, which is a Fonte B. The project started with a Fonte traverse through one of the caves to a very uncomfortable no-hand rest on a knee bar, and then finishing up the original problem of sanction. I was working it in the spring of 2007, in the last few weeks before I moved away from Dumbarton, and I got pretty close then, but I never quite finished it. And it always just slightly bothered me that there was this one piece of unfinished business. But at the time it seemed like madness to move to the Highlands with loads and loads of climbing to go and do, and yet travel back to Dumbarton to finish off this project. So I just left it behind and moved on to other things. But last year I was going climbing somewhere else and got rained off and took a notion just to go to Dumbarton, and I found myself standing underneath that same line again. And it was since climbed by Malcolm Smith in 2010. Malcolm called the climb Gutbuster and gave it 8B+, and so it's one of the few 8B+ in Scotland. And I was just curious to see how it would get on exactly 10 years later. I was almost 30 when I last tried it, and I'm almost 40 now, and so I wondered, am I weaker than before, or stronger, or the same? And so it just piqued my curiosity, and I just started to try the moves. I actually found that I was slightly stronger on the moves, and right away the curiosity was sparked and I felt like I had to finish it. Fortunately, I've been studying at Glasgow University over the winter, and so I made a few trips, usually after university in the evening, and worked it out some more. Physically, I knew I was capable of doing the climb, but always with climbs of Dumbarton Rock, they're so technical that you have to have them really wired to get them done, and it's not just about being able to pull in the holds. I knew that I'd have to come back quite a few times to get the right conditions and give myself a chance to actually do it. I went down to the rock when there was a period of easterly winds, which was great for the conditions, really dry, crisp air, but unfortunately there was a lot of snow blowing around and I kept having to dry the snow and clear the snow off the holes on the top of the climb. But in this one session I just felt so good on the climb, and I felt really sure that I could do it any try. But I had my kind of 3 good tries and I made some mistakes on each one and fell off. Mostly because I couldn't settle into the rest well enough and I couldn't relax in it. So I spent a bit of time just changing how I put the knee pads on my knees, and that made all the difference. But I was so tired that I thought this is just a kind of finishing off go where I'm not even going to get through the first half of the climb, so I didn't even change the settings on the camera even though it was getting dark, because I thought there was absolutely no point. And I just started off and I sort of scraped my way through the first part and got to the rest, but I realised that my repositioning of the knee pads made me able to relax, and I actually felt quite good. So I just started up the second part with no expectations, and I just didn't make any mistakes. And the next thing I was finally hit that crux on the lip and found myself pulling over onto the slab.